welcome to the deep water.
It's
I
great to be
really, really am happy you girls said yes. A little pushback from Arena. Hey, so it's still Women's Month, right? Okay,
That's
want to make sure.
Yes.
Want to make sure. Not that I wouldn't have you on anyway, but you know, there's that. So hey, girls, thank you for being part of the tribe at RevGym, and all of you been here for, well, Liz, how long you been around?
Gosh, like 8 years?
Like watch your children grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, 8. How long for you, Lady?
Close to 8, 7 or 8.
7. How old's Maylee?
Mealy is 5.
5 years.
5. Been here for a minute. Okay. All right. Well, and y'all have, well, I think some similarities, but different backgrounds. And I just, when we talk about the deep water and what it means, but then also the attraction to it, I think a lot of times people think it's dude centric around just kind of the philosophy and the, don't pick on me in my English language.
No, I was just thinking about a comment from a week or so ago. Sorry.
Which one?
About the if you get over an hour with the kettlebell swings.
Yes, and you were the only one to do it, which is another reason I wanted you on here, so people can understand.
But
yeah.
But that what? Yeah. But
yes.
You know why the dude centric thing? Why that brought that to me?
Yes, I do. Because none of the dudes did it. Right.
Well, yeah. Seeing the body part you were talking about. Really.
Oh, yes. Because if you got over an hour, we stated if you made it over an hour swinging, your third nut dropped.
Congratulations.
Right? So well done. And not the first time she's had that third one drop.
Yeah.
This is like 4th or 5th. No, just anyway, just that, I've always said our approach in the gym and on the mat and everything we do here is for anybody that's willing to step into it. Actually, even part of a sermon I heard today had to do with committing and saying yes before you even know what the thing is. Where I've taken a poll before in the gym where, are you the person that looks at the workout the night before when it's posted, or do you just show up and do it anyway? Because I know a lot of people that look at it the night before are the ones that also will scratch their name off the list if they're just not feeling it the next day. And that's not how we do, but it's that level of commitment, I think, of saying yes before you even know what the thing is you're being asked to do, which I think is personally, I think it's a big commitment when we're talking about showing up for ourselves here. If you'll just do that and make that commitment, that no matter what, the bald-headed asshole throws on the board, I'm going to do it anyway. So Karina, let's start with you because you're one of our trainers as well. And just, I don't know, give me some of your, even, pre-JB, before being here.
Well, what got me started was trying to run up and down the driveway with my 2-year-old, and I couldn't. I just couldn't. Couldn't keep up with him.
And this is when Coop was
2. Yeah.
Okay. And how old's Coop now?
He'll be 11 in July.
All right, so 9 years ago.
Yeah.
Kind of started on a different path.
Yeah.
Were you dancing then at all?
No, I was a depressed creature back then, so now it's not doing much.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So that didn't really help.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. I mean, we can go there for a minute. Did you have some depression issues before Coop, or was it postpartum that kicked in, or?
All of the above.
All the above. Okay.
Yes.
So
2 miscarriages before Cooper.
Sorry.
Husband deployed 3 months after the first miscarriage. He came home for R&R. We got pregnant then. Miscarried again when he was back.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's hard.
So that that started that.
Okay. And so you're on the driveway, not able to roll with the kiddo, and you.
I mean, I was also a smoker back then, so yes, I guess.
Naughty
All
Korean.
the all the sins out on the table.
All the things
Yeah.
out. I mean, yeah, I did this pack a day. Had my Camel menthol silvers.
Oof!
Yeah.
You weren't playing around either.
Yeah, and
That's a cigarette, man.
yeah, Paul was deployed. I was dancing 6 to 8 hours a day because I had time and finally had the chance to learn in a studio, so that was cool. Not eating.
And so everybody
smoking,
knows what kind
yeah.
of dance. We have there.
So everything ballet, jazz, contemporary. That's when we weren't able to afford that when I was younger. So
Was it here in town or?
Yeah.
And where was it?
it was at Paco's dance studio in Mission.
Okay.
It's no longer around, but
Oh.
yeah, he gave me that life, so that was cool.
That's awesome. So it's still, I mean, what did you, in venturing into dance, what, I guess, when it gets into arts, I compare martial arts some to dance. How does it make you feel?
The stage feels like home to me. It always has. I joined Filipino dancing in 1996. Still do it today. 27 years. Nothing was ever paid. That's all volunteer.
Yeah.
But I've always felt like the stage was home. So I love the feeling of it. I love learning, and I've been able to go to like California to conventions to learn.
Travel with it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's very cool.
But I guess more on an individual path, though. I mean, why dance as opposed to?
Gives me life. It's
Okay.
what makes me happy, brings me joy. I've always wanted to learn the other forms of dancing other than Filipino dancing when I was younger, but again, we couldn't afford it. So in my 20s, 22, when I took my very first class in a studio, it was just the coolest thing in the world.
Fell in love with it.
Yeah.
You're like instant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Love to hear that. All right, so then down the road.
Yep, I found a gym on Groupon, and it was 30-minute classes, and it was what I needed at the time. I was there 3-4 years. That sounds about right. 3 to 4 years. I eventually outgrew it, which is fine. It's what I needed at the time, so that got me in motion. Then Lane invited me to a women's self-defense class here at 9 a.m. on a Friday. I fell in love with it then, here, because as soon as I stepped in the door, I felt just some respect that I was lacking at the previous place. And she asked me to come back the next day. Someone did not tell me that it was a workout class on a Saturday. I absolutely died, but I loved it. It was what I was looking for. It's what I didn't know I needed at the time, but.
So you felt like we get comments sometimes of people that find us that there's this kind of an itch back
Mhm.
here, almost in the subconscious, that something's off.
Yeah.
And they're looking for something, I don't know, more challenging.
Yeah.
Or
I wanted something more, and this
reaching
was
in
it.
there.
And even 5 years later, it's still more, because it's up to me how hard I want to work, and how much weight I want to push, how this goes into life outside the gym, and it's cool to have that, to have learned that, and still learning.
Nice.
Yeah.
Smash.
Same question.
Yeah, I mean, prior to even being here, what were you doing?
Gosh, that's kind of hard to quantify. So, I think for the most part, for me, I mean, I was always doing some sort of running through high school. I did some track and then cross country. So I kind of continued that trend, kind of minorly in college and then continuing through college. But I always tried to do.
Sorry, taking stills. Not just sticking my tongue out randomly, Karina.
So, I mean, I think my training was probably a little bit lacking, my dad had some experience in like weight training, so he did some planning for me, like do upper body 2 times a week, lower body 2 times a week, and then cardio somewhere in there. And that kind of taught me the basics of how to move my body. And I did some continuation of that weight training at KU at their like gym there, but it was off and on, very inconsistent. And then tried to do home gym workouts because I didn't feel like going to a gym, didn't even know about doing that process. And so I don't know, I met my husband and
Which you all, if you didn't know him, Siegfried, who was on in our first podcast, is her husband.
Yep.
Yes.
so I met my husband probably a year after college, and he always kind of talked about this gym. Like, I did
I'm gonna
some
stop
martial
you.
arts.
I don't know, how did you guys meet? Where did you meet? How did you meet? I want to hear this. I don't know the story. I feel bad I don't know the story.
I mean, it's really simple. We met on Tinder.
Oh, Jesus.
Both swiped right.
Maybe I did know this and I tried to block it out.
And I always,
Glad it worked.
yeah, I always laugh because the first thing he asked me was, "Do you know such and such person?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." That's a little bit creepy. But in knowing that person, it was a good way to like vet out his character and
Gotcha.
to know who he was. So it was like a way to make
Okay.
him a person.
Okay. All right.
I mean, he's hilarious. I don't know.
Yes,
But
it's hilarious.
yeah, it's kind of hard not to love him. So
Aw. Aw.
Okay.
yeah, sorry.
Newlyweds
Gushing
too.
over
They're
here.
Hey,
newlyweds,
we've been
yes.
together for
Almost a year?
7 years.
Yeah, but newlyweds,
7.5.
so yeah.
So he talked about the gym kind of off and on, like doing martial arts training, how he was here, then went to California and stopped and came back here. And he always said, like, I probably need to get back to the gym or like back to see my trainer. And I was like, okay, sure, whatever. And
Don't understand that
why
relationship.
not?
Yeah.
And then we went to Overland Park Farmers Market one Saturday, and he nudges me and he's like, that's my trainer. And I'm like, go talk to him. And he's like, So that's kind of how he started back here, and he brought me with him, and I thought I was just going to watch and support him coming back to the gym. And the first thing we did was box jumps, which is the most terrifying thing ever, and is still the most terrifying thing ever today.
I think I remember having a conversation with you on those box
Yep.
jumps. Yes. You do them much better now.
Yeah, but I still can't convince my brain to jump on the 30-inch box.
But here's the thing. It's that you're committing to still do it though. What I was talking about, where you commit, show up and do it. If box jumps are on there, you don't run away from them.
Mm-mm.
You're still there.
Yep.
Still going after it.
I take a 10-minute video of her talking herself into
Yeah.
jumping the house. She doesn't know that I'm taking the video.
Right.
And so what now in the gym? What do you? Why are you still here, other than sing?
I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with kind of what Karina had alluded to, is that continuation of the growth and the hard part of it, and just the progression of those workouts. I mean, even in running, I have like an old injury from continually running in the same direction, and after going here for about 2.5 years, I went for a long run, and that pain was no longer there.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I was like, well, must be doing something right. So just kind of stayed, and I don't know, a part of the philosophy even at my current workplace is if you're not pushing yourself to do something hard, then you're not growing. So continuing to show up for myself here is kind
Hard.
of that step into that hard.
Nice. Sweet. Liz. You're up high.
Oh.
I didn't skip her.
You can. It's not that interesting.
It
I mean,
is.
how far back do you want to go?
Well, I mean, I know you were a collegiate athlete,
Yeah.
right? Right. I mean, were you athlete high school as well? I'm assuming
Yeah, I ran in high school and
cross country distance.
Cross country, yeah, distance. Yeah, didn't get those muscles. Yeah. So and then in college, I did do a season of cross country, but my knees were not cooperating. But crew was really my big love, like rowing. Probably of anything I've ever done, rowing is really
So
my
did
favorite.
you row before college?
No, just in college.
No, but that's
That's awesome.
that's ballsy because I know how hard of a sport that is. The commitment level of that sport to just be like, yeah, I'm gonna go do that now.
Well, I feel like most people learn in college, right?
Don't they? I don't know
I mean,
because I didn't row, so
maybe
I don't
not-
know.
I
I mean,
didn't finish college.
I guess I'm kind of looking at it as like the skill set, right? And I'm
it
like,
is not a natural thing to learn,
Right.
for sure.
right,
For sure.
right.
It's
I guess
tough,
I'm thinking
but,
like if
but
I had
yeah.
to learn that at 19, like, nah.
But that was a really good experience in college for me, and actually I still keep in touch with my crew coach.
Oh, cool.
Talk to him every now and again. Let's see. I couldn't run for 4 years when I was between 20 and I don't remember exactly, sometime. But then I got these orthotics and I started running it, and I pretty much ran. That was mostly all I did. I did some weights, and I was a spin instructor for 10 years to do that.
That's what destroyed my knees. It is.
Is it?
Well, it helped destroy my knees. I had the clips, the ones that go over
Yeah.
the toe
Yeah.
with no, and so my knees are locked into a particular angle.
Yeah.
That's when I started showing up more. Anyway,
Well, I don't know. Anyway,
I love teaching it. But
it was fun. Gave me a free gym.
yeah.
So yeah, and then gosh, I moved back. I was in Louisiana for 12 years. Then moved back here, and I did run a marathon after I moved back here. It's been 12 years, I think, since I moved back. And then a year after that, I just my knees got hurt again, and they didn't get better. They always would get
All
better.
the tissue was gone.
They're just bad. I mean, I probably wouldn't be here if I didn't have genetically bad knees, because my dad did not go to Vietnam because he had bad knees. So
Huh. Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Pretty good chance I wouldn't be here. So I brought Scott to your kid class.
Scott's your oldest.
Yeah,
How old is Scott now?
He's 16 and he was 7
Okay, so 9 years ago.
at the time.
Yeah.
And then you shamed me into coming to a class.
That seems right.
Yep.
Does shaming work on you? Does shaming really work on you, Liz? I don't know that shaming actually works on you.
Sometimes.
Obviously, if it was shaming, I guess it. I'm glad I shamed you then.
Maybe it was a challenge. Maybe that was it.
Maybe that's what it was.
Reframe that. Yeah. So and then.
Well, how did you find us for Scott?
I was gonna take him to some class out in Martin City, and I didn't want to drive to Martin City. And a friend of mine told me, "Oh, there's this thing. There's
I was
this."
convenient. Is
Yes.
that what you're saying?
Yes,
Nice.
you were half a mile from my house. It was super convenient. But it's just all these years later, especially since I can't run anymore, because I used to, I usually had some kind of goal, I'm gonna run under 21 for a 5K or to run whatever.
Right.
And I couldn't do that anymore, and I still don't compete, and there's not really anything I can compete in.
Right.
But just the challenge of the workouts here does a lot for me, and I wish I would have figured that out a long time ago, because I probably would be less damaged if I had been all around stronger.
Right. Supplementing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I did. As lousy as the pandemic was, I did love the 12-hour things we did in the gym, because it gave me something to do.
The overnight.
Yeah,
That we did. Yeah.
the overnight,
You
and
rode all those miles.
then we did a second one that was during the day.
That was the one that I participated in.
That's right, you did.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun.
That was awesome.
It was a
Would
lot
you
of
like
fun.
another one?
Yes.
Yes.
We haven't done one here yet at this
I will
location.
come support.
Think of the
Pretty
things
old
we
deer
could
athletic
see
supporter.
at night.
Oh, good lord.
I don't
Yeah.
know that.
And coyotes. You'll
Yeah,
see coyotes and deer.
Maybe
If-
not.
depending on where I
overnight
take
here.
I think the day was a better.
Maybe not the hotel.
Yeah.
We won't run
No.
around the hotel. Okay, and then Scott came, and then you did.
Then
and
I did.
And then,
And Kate started
yeah, and then the tank.
the tank.
Oh,
Yes.
the tank.
Hanky spanky.
Yeah, but Kate started and she started in first grade.
I think so.
Yeah. Well,
I think she was
something like
six.
that.
I
She
think
started
was 6.
pretty close after Scott,
Yeah.
and then Henry. I don't know. As soon as you would take him, put him in there.
You have these two, might as well have this one.
Yes. So, but it was. I mean, that was a good run when they all three were doing martial
Yes,
arts. That was a good time.
Yes.
And that was 6-7 years they did.
Yeah.
And now we just have Kate on the mat. So
Super Kate. Getting ready to go to nationals.
Yeah.
Choke a bitch. Her little 14-year-old got choke a bitch. She's doing great. And so, why still now? I mean, you've also played with some kickboxing. Yeah?
yeah,
You still get a little itchy about it. Just like, you like hitting stuff.
I do like hitting things.
I think we all do.
Yep, it's cheaper than therapy. Yeah, I've got some shoulder stuff and knee stuff, so gotta be kind of careful.
Limited with it, yeah. But enjoy that
But I
aspect.
do like hitting stuff. So
What would you say is like the gravity that still, kind of pulls you in to the gym? Because you're a consistent early bird. You're a consistent 5
Yes.
a.m.er.
yes, you know what? It's just better that I do. I mean, I need to like exercise to be
Okay.
happy.
To be okay. I get
To
it.
yes.
Well, does it feel, I mean, feel like you can start your day, right?
Yeah, so, and,
Feel like-
and days that I don't, I'm just like, "Ugh." No, I just don't.
Feel off.
I feel off.
You
I
can't
don't.
get it back.
Yeah, I don't like get stuff done as well, and I don't like if I'm going to be pressed for time going to work, it's usually when I don't come here, which doesn't make sense.
It's like the procrastination runs downhill.
I guess, yeah. Yeah. So
I'm like, shit.
I don't really miss doing the 4 a.m. I had enough of that, but
Okay.
5 is fine. 5 is good.
It'll do.
It'll do.
It'll do.
It'll do.
Um,
So I do want to bring in your kettlebell till you can't though. So we do a session at least once a year called kettlebell till you can't. I don't know what we did last year though. We did it
It's
all
been a
last
while.
year.
I don't remember
It
it
may have
last
been
year.
a couple years since we've done it. I think settling into the space or whatever. But yeah, you grab a kettlebell and ladies 35-pound minimum.
no, 25.
Oh,
Well, you
that's
do it
right.
by weight if you're
Wait,
under
that's right. Do it.
130.
If you weigh under 130 pounds, it's 25 pound. If you weigh 130 to 150
Or 70?
170 is 35 pound. 170 and up is a 50 pound, I believe.
Right.
Kettlebell, that's right. And then you pick it up and you start swinging. RKC eye level, standard kettlebell swing. You can pause for up to a 5-second count, but it has to be hanging from your hand. You can't shoulder rack it. You can't put it on your foot. You can't. Kevin Wallace, famous for. I didn't put it on the ground. Puts it on his foot. Yeah, can't do that anymore. So keep upgrading the rules. You cannot do that. So it has to hang. So yeah, you did an hour and 12 minutes.
Yes.
Beat your old record by 2, right? 2 minutes.
Yes.
It's a long time to swing
It is a
kettlebell.
long time. And it hurts the next day.
It hurt for at least the next day,
Next
if
couple
not for
days.
several days. No,
Yeah.
that's and so I want to speak to that because to me that's going to that space of deep water we talk about. Because there's a point in there where you talk a little bit your head in that
Well, I think like the first 15 minutes are the hardest.
getting settled in.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then,
Would you say getting settled into the pain?
well, I mean, it's not painful at that point.
That's what I mean. But
It's just by the time you get past 30, you're like, yeah, I can keep going. And, once you do get to an hour, it's not pretty, but you can do 10 or,
at a time, take the 5-second break, get back at it. Yeah.
So I think it's probably from distance running. You can kind of talk yourself into how you can keep
You have
going.
some dialogue.
Yeah.
Tell me about your dialogue.
Oh.
Do you shame yourself?
Do you shame yourself?
Do you hear my voice shaming you?
What is that dialogue?
I mean, because I had them too when I did like some distance work and stuff in my head that would become kind of a mantra.
It's kind of a you have to make a decision in your head to not let what's hurting you get the best of you.
Yeah.
Right.
Just
So it's that commitment beforehand, even.
right, but just you have to kind of make that decision that you're gonna not let that pain control you. You're gonna
Right.
beat it.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah. So
That's good. That's an achievement. That's awesome.
and it's great because my almost 15-year-old daughter will make fun of me for the things
For what?
for that. She's like, really?
You're like, yes, really. And
Yes,
you should
really.
also, yeah, throw it back at her.
Hey.
Hi, honey.
Hey.
All right. Prior to the tribe.
Yes. Bye. Sorry, just high school sports, volleyball, soccer, basketball. Went to a really small school. Was able to play all of the sports because there were 4 kids to pick from, so we all got to play whatever we wanted.
Talk about a Marinol.
Maranatha, yeah.
You went to school. Did you go with her?
No.
No.
She's 2 years older,
2 years older than you.
I believe.
Okay.
I'm 03.
She's more old. Yeah.
Anyway, she's 2 years older. So active all through high school. After high school, I didn't do too much. Started playing volleyball with a group of people that we still play volleyball together. She's now my sister-in-law, but prior to us getting married, my sister-in-law was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she decided to do the Warrior Dash because she was going to be a warrior, and it was a whole thing. So I went up to Chicago and ran that 5K with her, and that was my first race, and it was very interesting to me because it was not just running, and I very much enjoyed that. And my personality is to get a bunch of people to do a bunch of stuff. So I came back to Kansas City and I said, we're all running the Warrior Dash. And that kind of broke me into the world of running and obstacle course races. And so I did a lot of Tough Mudders, Rugged Maniac, Warrior Dash. And then it kind of went into Color Run, which isn't obstacles, but it was still interesting and not just running. And then the distances got longer because I wanted to challenge myself more. So it went from 5Ks, 10Ks up to marathons. I paced races because I wanted to do them so often, and it was a way to do it for free. So I carried the flag. I carried the flag. Knee surgeries and terrible genetics led to maybe
My parents' fault.
Thanks, Dad. Led to me recently, saying maybe not running. How can I destroy my body a different way? And that's where I did MR340. And I'm gonna do that again this year because it was fun.
So you didn't do MR3 until after being here though.
Yes.
That's just okay.
Yes. I came here when Jack was a baby
Uh-huh.
because Aaron called and said, "How do I get my kid to sleep? Also, you should come to the gym."
Okay.
So
Nicely played, my dear.
here I came to the gym, and I think with Rev, I found a spot that let you sit in a place of focus. Back in high school, we're backtrack. In high school,
Everybody together.
yeah, do we all go back with me?
Yes.
Back in high school, I was a part of a world record longest musical march.
What?
I think Aaron was in
I think she was in that.
Aaron was in that, yes.
We still hold that
What does
record.
that mean?
So the
like,
band,
Like marching band.
Oh,
Marching
okay.
band.
I think I've heard about this.
Yes.
we marched
That's cool. What'd you play?
flute.
Nice.
It was very light. So that I think showed me that I could do hard things and I can sit in hard things, because while I did not go the full 52 miles, I went like 30 something. I was like, oh, that is neat. We can do those things. And I see that at Rev, where it can be hard and you can sit in it and it is fine and it gives you a place to focus, because in my brain, it is not quiet.
Really?
It's very
Shocked.
very chaotic. And doing things like MR340 or a REVGYM workout or a marathon with no music, it's like the one place where things are quiet.
Would you say it's so loud that it makes it quiet? The one thing is so loud that it makes it quiet.
Well, yeah, because I think it hits on emotional, physical, and mental all at once, and it pulls all of it. So there's no other space to get distracted or
Right,
find something
Nothing else can creep in.
Yeah.
But I think, like Liz was even saying, it helps get things out.
Yes,
Other things can't get in, but it helps other
Mhm.
things get out. It's
Yeah.
a good output,
it is.
and you can turn the volume up on that as loud as you want.
Mhm.
That's a good description. Yeah, I mean,
That was a good description.
I feel the same way, and I'm always interested in other athletes' perception on how they get where they get and how they can continue to have consistency for themselves, and also consistency and continuous growth on all those three aspects: emotional, psychological, and physical. Because I think when you're lacking in one, it's going to affect the other two. Or if you're lacking in two, it's definitely going to affect the last one that's in there. I mean, I know personally, like if I'm having a emotionally hard day or something like that, no, I mean, all the coffee will wake me up, but it doesn't get to that place. Take my nootropics or my other stuff or whatever. It doesn't get me to that place. So I get that first hard workout in. It just, I don't feel balanced.
Mhm.
Maybe.
Mhm.
And then on, when it's a fine emotional day and I'm like physically feeling decrepit, which is most days anyway, but physically, then the movement alone just then kind of sets tone, and it lets everything else move better the rest of the day. And then if it's a mentally hard day, like maybe I have to do something other than basic math, I don't know, same thing. It allows me to go to one thing where I think it's the way I've always tried to approach training, and what works for me is to do something so hard that, as I was talking about, the thing, it's so loud. Like the thing I'm doing is so loud on a singular focus, nothing else can creep in. Which is, I think, my love and passion for martial arts is because in that same way. Because, I mean, part of it is you're fighting. Like I've described it before, it's like being in a NASCAR race and you're the one car out of 40 that's going the wrong direction. And if you make one wrong move, you're in a wreck. And it's in martial arts, if your brain slips on anything else you got going on, man, you're going to get hit, and it's potentially over. But the training's the same way. And I think that's where I mean, in all of it, honestly, because dance, easy to see and feel how it is similar to martial art.
Mhm.
Because I ran track so long also, there's a lot of technique involved in running and running well over periods of time or for different events or whatever. There's more technique people realize. You don't just go run fast. There's a lot involved. And then that's where I talk about like the rowing too. I know that, and that's also particularly with a team. It's not just you,
Oh no.
but I guess the part on rowing, like some people talk about team sports sometimes, like you can hide a little bit if you screw up, the other team's going to carry you. But if you screw up rowing, everybody knows you're the one that screwed up,
Yeah,
and they can't necessarily recover from you screwing up.
exactly.
So it's like it's kind of like I don't know how many 4? Which one did
I
you
was
do?
usually in a 4.
A 4,
Some
yeah.
8s too.
So,
mostly
I mean, 4
4.
or 8s, then they're depending on you performing as an individual, which is like running, like dance, like martial art. But then also there's a reliance on you performing as your best as that individual,
Right.
which is so it's technique, timing,
Mm-hmm.
and then that pressure as well, which I think is a tremendous achievement. Because once again, nothing else can get in there.
No, and you use muscles that you didn't know you had, like because you have to like there's balance involved
Mhm.
and like it's pretty technical.
Yeah.
So, but you're right. If anybody screws up, it's no bueno.
I find it interesting, that like you four with different backgrounds, how your past, things you did before, things that you got into, you found a thing that has kind of been the underlying current of the deep water, right? That kind of keeps you wanting more. Have you girls found that even on the days that are really, really hard in here, like maybe you don't get through the whole session, or maybe you don't lift the weight you want to do on RX, or maybe you don't. Do you find even the days where I would say fail, which here we use that word, it's not a bad thing for that to happen, that you still find empowerment in that?
Yes. It's
Can you
like
tell me more?
you said, you've told us multiple times that whatever you have that day, give 100% of that. So if you're feeling 30% that day, give all your 30% because that is your 100% that day.
Right.
So if that's all I can give, and I gave it everything
Right.
that day, then
Right.
I'm solid.
Then you're good with it. Yeah.
I mean, I think for me, failure is a part of growth. So even though you're failing in that moment, you're still learning for the next time. So yeah, I do a lot of reframing. It's not necessarily always a failure or I did this wrong, I need to do it better. It's, well, that was today. Let's do it again another day.
Right. Okay.
There are so many workouts. I remember when I first came here from the gym I was training at before, I was cocky. I walked in like, I'm a runner, I can do it, it's fine, I'm going to this new gym now. And the first day was like an Indian mile that you made, and you had to run from the back to the front. I did not do that. It was like day one was a failure in theory, and I was just like, there's so much more that I can do. So I wasn't like, oh, I cannot be here. It's, oh, I'm gonna do all of the things to be able to get to where these people are, where they are. And then even just like a warm up here was a whole class where I was prior.
Yep.
So it's just like, I don't mind getting my ass handed to me, and that's what this does. And every time I'm like, okay, I can see the next thing that I can do. And then looking back where I was to where I am now, the weight that I can move is I would have never imagined. So if failing gets me further than I ever got before, I'll take it.
Right. Well, that's where I know we're not a female heavy gym, right? Would say third,
I think so.
maybe quarter now, maybe
Maybe
a quarter.
Yeah.
Quarter out of 130, 140 clients. That's kind of kids too. But, I speak to that because I think we've had women come into the gym and not feel empowered. And I don't know. Sometimes I'm always trying to find a better way, right? I'm always trying to find a better way that, how can I help people show up for themselves and realize that if they're not getting it right now, they're not getting it 2 weeks, they're not getting it a month, maybe they're not getting it in 90 days. And by getting it, I mean understanding that this is going to be hard. And it's going to be hard every single day, and that's the thing that we do. And maybe it's just that it's not for everybody. I've also said that maybe it's just not, or they haven't got to that point in their life where it needs to be, has to be. It's now the solution, but I think it can be. I know my bedside manner isn't necessarily. I'm not. Yeah, that's not how we do here. I mean,
I think
not so much
I literally know people who have said that they don't come because they want
that.
that.
Yeah, well, CrossFit is everywhere.
I
I
think
said that.
it's- Sorry.
No,
I think it's really hard to face your faults every day. In such a kind of like public space too, that maybe that's part of that deterrent.
I think part of it too is this place is only, even more populated. So we've got one of our bigger classes, 12, 15 going on there, right? It's only as public, I feel, as you make it. Which I think sometimes when we're failing, we automatically feel like everybody's seeing us fail. Where everybody in there is dying the same way, nobody gives a shit. Well, I say that all the time. Nobody gives a crap if you're dying over. Now, if you're dying and you're doing your push-ups wrong, or you're dying, not moving much weight, yet you sound like you're in the throes of passion. We've had several people, and still have some. Ah! And you're moving a 10-pound weight, and somebody might notice and call you out on it or something a little bit. Yeah. But if somebody's giving true effort, like Karina said, maybe you're at a 30% and you're at 110% of that 30% for that day, nobody's going to give a crap if you fail. You might. And I think that's where that amplifies out and people feel like people are watching.
Yeah.
And that's where I don't think people need to fucking get over themselves. Men and women. As please know, I'm not targeting women as why more aren't in here. I think anybody can. It's just setting that shit aside. And I think other people have developed many other people. And if it's for them, great. And if it's not, other people have, some people want the purple gym where there's no yelling, there's no dropping weights, there's nobody's going heavy. They just want to tell them, they want to be skinny, fat, and just do cardio and whatever. And that, if that's their groove, great, fantastic. I just feel like people are, if they don't push the boundaries, they don't do more than toe dip in the water. They're not willing to go into the deep end and look at those things in a space that we have no mirrors, we have no comfortable place to sit down, we have no ease in there. That they're selling themselves short of who they could actually be if they don't learn how to push that envelope and get uncomfortable and then find the growth in that uncomfortable. Well, CR is hard. MLT 40 is hard, right? But in those events as well, you're also potentially being seen, but not being seen failing. You're being seen as part of a conglomerate that have agreed to suffer in a particular way. And you may be pulling somebody along you don't even know is watching you. And you may get pulled along by somebody you had no idea would help you. That was one of the most amazing things I found, like in Tough Mudder, in first doing any kind of obstacle course. It was the community that would come to your rescue if you've got an issue, and then how that then becomes contagious, which is what I feel like and I always hope for in our space on the mat and in the gym as well, is when somebody's not getting it, it's not just an eye of criticism, but it's an eye of, oh, you're technically not doing that, let's fix that, and you got this. Now, typically that's about as much encouragement as I give, is like, let's fix this, and you got this, and you're left alone to do it. But I hope that people receive that way. And I know that, you know, it's fun for me to watch other people in the room when you're at that 30-minute mark and 90% of them are done swinging that kettlebell, right? It's fun for me to watch them watch you.
They watch me?
Oh, yeah, but it's like this. The big dudes that have already quit watch you like this. They're not going to turn and look at you. They don't want you to know, right? The corner of their eye. Because they've pulled the bitch card for the day. And they're done. It's interesting being in my position sometimes to watch. Actually watch a lot of the men, watch you strong women do what you do, and then hear them talk about it after you're gone.
It's interesting.
She's kicking my ass. Kicking my ass. She kicked everybody's ass. She kicked my ass. I mean, yeah, and all four of you. I mean, I've heard comments from people. Your deadlift, your rows, your kettlebell swings, your body control, flexibility, movement, your intense focus, your growth, your change from who you were when you walked into the gym and who you are now. And there's people now where, I mean, I know I threw it on you last week. I was busy on the mat and I was like, Ash, help that new guy. She was like, I was like, you got this. And he was fine. Did good. I mean, so I have to say thank you to you ladies and all our ladies at the gym that come in and show up every single day. And I mean, I'm flattered that you feel like what we do empowers you, because that's what I want for everybody who walks in there, not just women, but men as well, to be empowered to find out who they are, what they can get to now, and then, you know, like Lane was saying, what's the next? You know, what's the next thing? Let's commit to that next thing.
I always really like seeing somebody, you know, lifting something heavy or, actually, do you remember when we did the bear crawls? Where, like, you take the two bands and you're both bear crawling, one person's going forward, one's going back. Remember that?
How long ago was this?
It was-
Can we tie two of them together? You go one way, she's going one way, so you're going one way. And she's
Okay,
going
well,
one
I
way.
remember because you're really strong. You smoked me like a Virginia ham, so, which was great.
I swear you were going to say Virginia Slims.
I did not. That was you. Some reds, Marlboro Reds. But no, not that.
Phew.
Yeah. So I always think it's great. Like, you're really strong.
Gosh, my first partner here was Brad.
Douglas,
I don't know his last name.
P. Dougie, older dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was my first partner and absolutely kicked my ass.
I had to share a box with Big J.
And
I was just like,
excuse me, sir.
I like did not want to get in his way, and John was like, you share the box, and if there's a problem, Jay will leave. And Jay was like, no, we're sharing. And everybody, like, I think that's one thing about Rev. We're going on a new road now.
Yes, ma'am.
Welcome to it. I've been to a lot of gyms, and they all say, when you're here, your family, what's that restaurant? Olive Garden?
Oh, I think so.
It might be. Some unlimited salad right now.
Yeah. Rev Gym is the first gym that I've ever gone to where you're in it all together and you're on the same level. Whether it's day one or 10 years in. It's the first place where everyone's cool with everybody else.
Yes.
And I appreciate that.
Well, I think it's because I said you've got nuts just to walk through the door.
But like people are playing by that rule.
Mm-hmm.
Because other gyms that Karina and I have gone to, fam, we're all a fam. Fam. And I was going there when my mom died and no one called me.
Ugh. That's not family.
I was a trainer there
Ugh.
and no one I had to ask for someone to take my shift to go to her funeral. Like, it's garbage.
Yeah.
So this is different. If nothing else, for that.
No one ever told us what was happening.
I'm glad. I'm
Um,
glad the culture here feels
It's been
different.
8 years. Whatever. It's over now.
Well, I mean, because a lot of the philosophy that I have is I want the hour, 2 hours you spend on your daily to affect the other 20 whatever.
Mhm.
How can we as people in here that if we're sharing that, then not have a vetted interest in everything else you've got going on? You know, I do, if somebody signs up and don't show, I do text even at
Mm-hmm.
I've got
five in the morning.
Text
And
messages.
if, and if you're a regular and maybe you didn't sign up and I was still expecting you may get a text. It's like, I don't know. So I guess I have a mood issue sometimes. Some days it's WTF. Question mark. Some days, are you good? Then WTF. If I don't get a response right away.
If you cancel last minute, you get a poop emoji.
You get a poop emoji. Yes. You do. Yes. Yeah. No rules. What do you see for yourselves going forward with, and for your kids, those of you that have kids in the martial arts? Kind of. I know they're going through a phase. It's fine. They can dance, right?
I will speak to me personally.
Yes, speak to you.
I mean, I'll do MR 340 again, and that will be delicious. But
Not really. I know what
drink
happens.
water.
You go,
Personally.
So gross. I love it. I am interested in what my training will look like moving forward now that I had surgery, and they're like, I have like more potential for injury and all this other stuff where all I wanted to do was get like a bigger and better deadlift PR, and now I'm like, is that still a thing? So I have to like relearn how to do it all to stay safe.
Yes.
And we can do that. Yeah, I mean, we've got. This isn't speaking to you, though. We've got a group in the gym now, Iron Adaptive, that Nick Orlando's running, and that I love having that group in there. They're a non-for-profit as well, and we've got kids anywhere from. We've got kids in that group that have Downs. We've got amputees in there. We've got people with TBI, traumatic brain injuries in there that are just doing fantastic. Nick's doing a great job with them. But in the same ilk, you get somebody to come in, like one of the guys who's working with, got a new prosthetic, and it's changing everything. But it was a relearn. He had to relearn how to walk with that one before we started adding load. And so, yeah, I love. So, I mean, I always look at that as injury this, that, the other is part of your strength, like, because the way you're approaching that, I commend you, because a lot of people will have a surgery or an injury or something, and they just go, well, I'm not doing that anymore. And it just becomes a whole, I'm not, or I can't, or whatever. As opposed to that, you're looking at it almost as like the workout where maybe you don't get through it, right? And it's a fail, and what's the next? So now you're at, what's the next? So, I mean, good on you. I mean, that's just making it clear to yourself, I think. I'm driving towards it. Lizzie, what's next? 24-hour row?
Ooh.
Fuck that 12-hour shit. You have to get a thicker pad for that seat. Woo!
I don't
The
know.
chafing.
I do need a project. So I'm in kind of this weird place because for the past 6 years, I was working on PhD and
Congrats, publicly, by the way, doctor.
Thank you, but I really like that.
Okay, did I sit this close?
Sorry.
Can I sit this close?
But that was a lot of time and a lot of brain space, and I don't know.
What did
Need
you get a
something to do.
PhD
In English and film.
Congratulations.
I like
I could not do that.
I
I mean, well, I can't. I no. Picture
school
of
Just no.
me and school. doing any of that.
Well, it's a lot of the same stuff though, to like all the toughness that you guys have. It's the same concept. you know,
Yes,
of getting
it's,
through.
it's taking a thing. Yeah, no, I get it. I've read big books. Start to finish, even.
Is it like big font or is it
Shush, leave my You leave my eyes alone.
Remember when AJ did my granite in my bathroom?
Yes.
And I had like stacks of books on my desk, and he just was like, Jesus Christ, what's wrong with you? Like, so many things.
So it's a long list.
Long list.
Ash?
So a part of my,
You just smoked a bunch of chicks in a race, by the way, for
Yeah,
your
she
birthday.
did.
I was not that fast though.
But you beat everybody that day.
First female.
What was the race?
Fastest girl.
So I did
Oh,
a
God.
trail run in Lawrence.
Fun.
So it was a half marathon, got 2 hours, 18 minutes.
On trail.
That's
What?
good
On trail?
Yeah.
Dang! I've
Right?
done one trail run.
Maybe that's the next takeaway.
So that is a part of my year goal. So I set this goal September of last year to run a race, any race, every month for a year.
Good.
So started with the zoo run here in Kansas City, and then that
Yeah,
trail.
we did that with you.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, my buddy
Mhm.
Ed.
So the trail run was the latest race, and then next month we'll do a Ragnar relay. Karina's a part of the team in Arkansas.
And our husbands.
And our husbands convinced them to run, even though they're not runners, but
We
they'll be
both-
fine.
They both said if you convince the other husband to do it, they'll do it, and so we did.
Nicely
Well
played.
Mhm.
Nicely played.
So I'll continue that through August, and then I'm not sure if I'm going to do a full marathon that September or the marathon for August.
In August? That's a terrible idea.
It doesn't matter.
Do the kids?
The weather does not matter. We'll
Oh.
figure it out.
Like that attitude.
Kudos to you. Kansas City Marathon's October.
I love the Kansas City Marathon. That's a great race.
So,
So
still thinking
anyway.
about which one. We'll see. Because my ultimate goal is to do an ultra marathon. So we'll see.
Let's go.
So you could do a 12-hour, no problem.
Yeah, I
You
mean
just throw
that
that in
12-hour training that we did. So John had the OCR group at 4 a.m. I am not a 4 a.m. person and very much did not want to be a part of that. But he did offer like a training plan for the running portion. I think some like speed work and whatnot. So I was following that on my own and doing the workout on the daily. And I think you were running a challenge simultaneously because it was in prep for that 12-hour.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think I ended up with 38 or 39 miles on that.
Yeah.
So
That's an ultra, by the way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anything beyond a regular marathon is an ultra.
but isn't it continuous? Really?
Ultras, they pause.
I mean, yeah, you can.
Yeah, you
There's
can
like
pick-
aid
you can pick-
stations and stuff that you chill
yes,
at for a
'cause if you
second.
don't want to poop down your leg, you'll stop.
Well, not like continuous, but running only, I guess.
No, well, I mean,
You put the miles in.
in all
You didn't like
fairness,
go home and sleep.
by doing 38 with obstacles in between that we did,
Mm-hmm.
you probably would have run longer for taking those out. So I mean, I wouldn't say
Yeah.
that you got a break.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys were doing squats with a hose being sprayed in your face. You were doing
The last thing before I got to go do my last loop was pull-ups with a penalty.
that's right. That was it on the that was inside. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
So-
I
There
decided
were
I was
burpee
doing
penalties,
those
weren't they?
tanks.
Yeah.
And I think John knew, so because I was a part of that, I feel like he purposely put it more towards the end.
Just because of you, Ash.
Right? That's how I feel like it was for. But I can only do one pull-up unbroken. And you couldn't go back and do the rest of the 15 pull-ups. It was 10 burpees for each pull-up you didn't complete. So I had to do 140 burpees before I could head back
Oh
out.
my God, I can do that.
So I wouldn't say you got a break.
No, you didn't get a break.
But I completed those, and I think I ran another 2,
Jeez.
and then completed the 12 hours.
I would say you could have easily, with that 38 miles plus everything you did, you could have run 50
Oh yeah.
without. I would bet all kinds of money on that.
Okay, so she's saying she wants another 12 hours.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I'll build one out.
Daytime.
I'll build one out.
I will come support.
I love the overnight ones though.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Like 8 to
I
8.
did.
Is it going to be break up a drug deal? Is that going to be one of the challenges?
You just run faster.
I did say to Siegfried that 12-hour, this is going to sound terrible, was probably easier than the one that went through the night because there is a mental component to
Oh, yes.
that exhaustion through the night
Well,
and to be running through dark.
I mean, you ask anybody that's done like worlds and stuff. They all. When's the sun coming up? When's the sunrise? When's the sunrise?
They're new
Because-
people when that sun breaks.
Because
There's just-
the energy that hits you when the sun comes up after you've been in the dark is absolutely life altering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very different. Very different.
Siegfried and I do road trips through the night where we like alternate sleep schedules. So yeah, I definitely understand that feeling of once the sun rises,
And
you're
that's
like,
just and
oh,
that's
thank
just
goodness
that's
I'm
just
awake.
driving.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
About you, Karina. What's
Oh,
next?
hi. I have no idea. I am currently really
Get
loving
on the
running.
mat. Get on the mat.
More time on the
Get
mat. But I'm.
You've got the best arm bar.
Thank you so much.
She does. She's got an incredible friggin' arm bar.
Thanks.
Do more of it. Yeah.
But those boys are stinky.
Well, you
It's
know,
because they're boys.
Lane's been on the mat. Liz has been
Yeah,
on the
she's
mat.
the one who
some.
got me on the mat.
Ashley's done a bunch of our firearm and combative work. I mean, so, all 4 of you could actually. Don't hit me.
What?
Could get on the mat.
Oh,
Yeah. Could grapple with your daughter.
I'm going to fight Kate.
She hits hard.
Nope, I'm currently really loving running right now.
Yeah.
I think I started.
Which I think is a change for you.
Oh, for sure. I hated running.
Yes.
You probably knew that from
I
years ago. I promised. I told her I would never be a runner. Started 4 years ago during pandemic because we went on a family walk and we lost the hat that Paul's dad gave Cooper as a baby before he passed. Henry was wearing it at the time and we lost it on the trail. I'm like, we're not losing that. So I'm like, I guess I'm going to start running today to go find it. Started that day. I didn't love it for the first 3 years. It wasn't until this year that I finally found
Something in there.
mental clarity with it. It's just cool. It just
What do you
just
think?
feels good.
And that's the thing I find interesting when I think sometimes people, when they venture into something on an athletic venture that is hard or something that they haven't liked in the past or something they think is going to be hard, that they're looking for a physical sensation to get them to keep doing it when it's actually all mental.
Oh yeah, it's
It's
definitely
there's a mental piece.
yes.
Um,
I found that this year, so that's cool.
is it during a particular run?
Every run.
Every run?
It takes me about a mile.
That's everybody.
It's a mile,
Everybody
and then
says the same thing.
my mind can quiet down from
Yep,
there.
yep,
But
yep.
it's and
AJ
then
and I were just talking about that last week.
after 6 miles is when I'm like, oh, I could just keep going.
Yeah.
6 miles is my mental block, and then once I'm past that, I'm like, oh, I could go all day.
Love that.
It hurts, but
Yeah.
that's.
I think that's so
okay
good
with
for
that.
people to hear. Because people have this, and that's where people set these false ceilings. Even when we have workouts out here, and I'll say we're doing like a 6-minute max effort or something. People have this number in their head, right? Or they'll do the thing. Well, I'll get to 10 and then I'll pause and I'll do more. They immediately do this thing where they put this shelf on there that I'm going to do this to either pace it to make it easier, or they only believe they can go so far, or maybe it's a couple reps beyond what they believe they can, and they don't just open themselves up to, I'm just going to go.
Yep.
Right? I'm just going to go till I drop the bar. I'm going to go till I fall over from running. So many people won't venture into that. And I don't know. It bothers me that people won't. It bothers me. It bothers me not because they're not listening to what I say and that I know works. It bothers me because they could be and do so much more for themselves, their family, their career, everybody they come in contact with by finding that in themselves. And I think that's just what I think so that I want it for people so bad that I think people mistake my soapboxing about it as like anger because I'm telling you to. I'm telling you to because I fucking know because I've done this and I know what it alters in people.
But we said it earlier, like people aren't ready to sit in discomfort. So they have to find a way out.
Or they just don't want to.
They're afraid of it.
And part of that, so there's a lot of fears in there. There's fear of failure, there's fear of unknown, and for some there's even fear of success. Because once you do it once,
Mhm.
you know,
Then
because
what does it
goes
mean?
now you just did that on a drill run. The next time you run, I'm gonna be like, "Did you beat your last time?" Right.
I
So,
welcome
it's
the conversation.
right, and that's the thing is, but you're welcome to that, right? Other people are like she's saying, we'll just run from it, just at the thought of it. They won't have the conversation.
I also did hate my time, or it's not.
That's not what you wanted it to
Yeah.
be. Okay, well, good.
I would love a
I mean,
218
that's
on
good.
the road.
And Liz would love to be able to run again. Yeah, that's right, man. I
That's
mean,
true.
I get past 3 miles now, and the bone on bone just screams. But
Oh, the health thing for me is definitely with just any physical activity, wanting to do it, just seeing my parents' bodies fail and not be able just to do anything. I don't want that.
I do believe that this, as a whole, even though we've got a ton of obesity in our society, as a whole, I think this generation, and I mean I'm older than you, but in your generation will be healthier longer and stronger physically. There won't be as much
That's my goal.
bent over the walker and cross fingers, right?
I want to do this for a lifetime.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's go out on your shield thing, right? Like for sure.
And you can start anytime.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, that's the thing. It's just a decision, and it's even some of our people that show up now that come in here too. I see them struggling to come in, or they
Mhm.
are at that 50% effort or barely above, and it's like, they're the same ones that unfortunately sometimes I'll get the comment. I'll go, "Let's go." They're like, "Oh, you're lucky I'm here." I'm like, "No, I'm not lucky you're here.
You're lucky.
You're lucky you're here, but fucking do something with it."
Mhm.
And that's where I'm so proud of you ladies and honored to know you and thank you for blessing my home with with your presence because I mean I think you're an inspiration to not just other women that are in the gym because like I said we don't have as many. You inspire the men as well. You inspire anybody you come in contact with. So this whole thing I talk about it all the time in women's self-defense clinics that you're not the weaker sex. Your bodies can do things men's will never do, right? And you carry things that men don't carry. And because of psychologically the way your brains work, I know that it's not always necessarily as easy to go single-minded about things because of the way a female psyche works and because of what you carry and what you do. So I mean, you ladies are tremendous and you impress me all the time.
Thank you.
I would like to say thanks for giving a space that we don't feel like we need to dole that strength.
No,
That
that's
we
the one thing
are-
I never want. Yeah, come in here and fucking roar. That's what I want everybody to do in here. As long as you're lifting enough weight to have to roar.
I gave birth quietly. Very quiet. You had two of them.
That is
At same
the
time.
thing though. I mean, I remember a gym I went to in Baton Rouge. People would tell me, you know, you do too much. You need to. And there was this great older lady, Miss Pickle. I don't.
Even better.
Miss Pickle was awesome. She would do class after class after class. She would just be there for hours, and she was kick ass. I mean,
Give 0 fucks.
yeah, she was great. She was hilarious. Be like Miss Pickle.
Mhm.
I think that'd be a next good shirt.
Oh,
0 fucks on the back of a shirt.
there have been so many shirts that I've thought of in this conversation.
Let's go.
Nice.
Let's
And
go.
you can make them.
Yes,
And let us
you
know.
give
You
us
guys
your
that
list
are
of
watching,
quotes.
let us know. T-shirts. We love little sayings on our shirts.
Dude centric was the first one that
That is not going to be a shirt. I don't want shit thrown at me.
How about third testicle?
Third testicle, we do that. Says something effective like drop 3. I don't know.
Something ambiguous. You don't quite know unless you're in a
Well, Liz needs another shirt because I asked her to wear one when we were at the international, and she said, "You said at the time the only shirt you had was the one that you earned that says the one you earned that says unfucked."
Oh,
You said that was the only shirt you had at the time.
that's true.
Yeah.
Which is, you know,
Yeah.
dicey.
And that one can still be earned. You cannot buy that one. You can get us online as well to earn that shirt. There's criteria to get the unfucked shirt. You got one of those yet?
Nope.
Oh, ugh.
No,
Well,
I don't care. I don't care.
new shirts coming right up for the ladies that deserve them.
It's a
Great.
really soft shirt.
It is.
Yeah, it's
I like it. We get good stuff.
I always ask Kate when she has like a new team or whether, so do you want me to wear, you know, a Scion shirt, or do you want me to wear the REVGYM shirt?
The unfucked shirt. Depending on how you want to treat the team, yeah.
It's like, yeah, Mom, I really want to introduce you. Hey, this is my mom. She's unfucked.
Yes.
She'd be proud of it. She would so be proud of it.
Ladies, thank you
Thank you.
so much. This was fun.
Mhm.
Do it again?
Sure.
You opening treats?
You know I'll do it.
You
again for
you
snacks.
did great.
Thank you. I don't like
Ladies, thank you. Thank y'all for tuning in. Check us back for episode 3. Deep Water will be coming out soon too. Peace.